We've all been in this situation where you're playing this game, you're having a great time, and you're thinking this game is hella awesome. And you look at the trophy list and you're just like, really? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now in this video what I want to do is I want to talk about 4 trophies across 4 games that really made me want to blow my brains out.
Or I'm gonna lose my freaking mind!
That's right, we've all been there, we've all had those games that have been really awesome, we've enjoyed a great time with them, and then we've seen the trophy list and there's been a trophy, 1 or 2 trophies that have really just ruined the game. Or we've been playing a game which hasn't been that good, and then it's been made even worse by the trophy list, which I think covers 2 of the games in this list. 2 of the games are pretty good. I had a really good time with them, and then one particular trophy in each game really brought down my enjoyment with the game. And then 2 of the games, well, they ain't good games, and not only are they pretty bad games, they also have terrible, terrible trophies, and I want to share it with you. So come along this journey with me while I reminisce about some really bad experiences that I've had while trophy hunting. Now the first game is a game I don't really talk about that much on this channel, and that is LA Noir, which came out on the PlayStation 3, made by Rockstar. It then was remastered to PlayStation 4, and I have to say, a really great game. Yes, the facial recognition, the facial expressions look kind of cringe now, but at the time, it was pretty revolutionary. It was completely new. They'd never done any sort of facial animation to this standard ever before, and you play as a detective called Cole Phelps, and you go about completing different stories, and it's a very noir game. There's no direct heroes, there's no direct villains. You play a copper and you just try and solve mysteries, and if you don't solve them correctly, the story still continues. It's got a bit of policing in, it's got a bit of detective work, it's got a bit of an open world, and it's a pretty good game, and the trophy list is generally pretty easy. All you got to do is 5-star all of the cases, and there's about 10 of them or 15 of them or so, and that's pretty much it. Find all the collectibles, find all the clues, do a few shootouts, do a few cleanups, that sort of thing. But there's one trophy that wasn't fun, and that is the Auto Fanatic trophy. So for this trophy, what you have to do is you have to drive every single vehicle in the city, and there's 95 cars in total, and you have to get into each one and drive them. Now, this doesn't sound too bad. Now, the problem with that is it doesn't tell you the vehicles you haven't drove, and there's 95 of them, and it's set in like the 30s, and all of the cars look pretty much the same. So what you got to kind of do is you got to kind of just like drive around. Firstly, there's some hidden vehicles which appear on the map, so that's not too bad, but there is probably about 20 to 30 vehicles that you just got to kind of just run around the city, just getting into every single car, and it is a bit of a ball ache, I have to say. It took me about 3 to 4 hours of just running around aimlessly, completely lost, just looking for a certain car, which I didn't even know which car I hadn't found, and it kind of becomes just unbearable. It just isn't fun because it's not only the fact that it's a annoying trophy, it's the fact that there's no guidance, there's no built-in collection menu in the game, so you don't know how close you are to actually which cars you need to find and how close you are to actually getting the trophy, so it can be quite frustrating, definitely. So the next game is Borderlands 2. Now this is one hell of a great game, you know, the looter shooter genre in its element. In this game it's an open world game, it's quite a big platinum trophy, you know, it's going to take you 100 hours to get the platinum trophy, a couple playthroughs here and there, but there's one trophy which is disgustingly hard, and it involves random drops.
Mother of God.
And that is a challenge accepted trophy. So what you have to do is you have to level up to level 1 in all of the non-level specific challenges with a single character. So there's like 115 of these challenges in total, and all of them are pretty obtainable. You know, it's pretty much like get kills with certain weapons, get kills in certain ways, kill so many enemies. That's most of it, but there's a few like miscellaneous trophies and miscellaneous challenges in this single trophy. So it's a massive trophy. It encompasses the entire game, everything you can do in the game, and one of them is for finding goddamn Jimmy Jenkins. Jimmy Jenkins is a random bot who can spawn out of any loot crate that you draw from the game. So at any one time he could jump out and you could kill him, and I played the game for 130 hours and he never ever appeared once for me. There is one level called the Doctor's Orders which apparently you can go, and I did use this trick to get him. There's like 5 loot boxes that will all give a special drop, so you have a higher chance of finding him there, and that's where I actually ended up finding him. I spent maybe 10-20 hours going in, loading out from the same 2 areas just to open the map, search 20 boxes and then repeat, and it was disgustingly annoying. I really do not like random drop trophies. I think they totally take away from what it is to be a trophy hunter, because trophy hunting is about skill and about time commitment. It's not about getting something randomly, and for me that was really annoying, and it kind of takes it just makes this trophy list just not as good as it could have been. Without this singular randomly popping trophy, the trophy list is pretty decent, I have to say. So those were the 2 good games in this list, the 2 games that I think were pretty excellent. but unfortunately there was one trophy in each of those games which kind of brought the trophy list down and made it a little bit annoying towards the end with a little bit of grind here and there. Both those games had about 5 to 6 hours of just repetitive grind at the very end, not including the grind that is Borderlands 2, but it's a fun grind mostly. Now these next two games are the dark times. The first game is a game I've spoken about to quite excess on this channel, not very recently, but that is Avengers. So Avengers came out last year. It was a, would you say, a massive total flop? I think I probably would. I think it came out, Square Enix took a loss on this game. We all knew going in, well I knew going in, that it was never going to deliver on what it wanted to be. It was just some terrible looter shooter, looter fighter game, and it was garbage. It really was garbage. The enemies sucked, the level design sucked, but what else sucked about this game was the fact that all of the trophies at launch were glitched. So, although I have a specific trophy in mind, I had to replay so many levels, do so many collectibles, do so much stuff again and again and again to get the singular trophies to pop. It was disgusting and I just didn't have a great time with this game at all. But there's one trophy in particular, and that's called To the Dark and Back Again, and that involves completing 50 hive missions. So the hive mission, kind of how it works is, you get popped down on a map, you have to run to a certain location, kill some bosses, kill some really boring AI, make your way down 5 floors. Each floor has probably 2 to 3 minutes of combat and fighting, very repetitive stuff. Each hive will take you about 20 minutes. So as you can tell, you're only going to be able to do 3 hives per hour. So as you can see, that's already like an 18-hour grind. That doesn't sound too bad, but the problem with that is, again, first two things. Firstly is the fact that you have to do all this single player. If you played in co-op, then the trophies wouldn't pop. So you have to play 20 hours grind by yourself at least. But then not only that, it was glitched. It took me around 85 hives to finally get this trophy. So as you can imagine, we're talking there about 33 hours grind, and this game actually took me about 110 hours to platinum last year. This game does not appreciate your time, and the trophy list is a perfect example of that, because all the trophies and stuff are just like complete something 50 times, complete something 30 times, complete something 100 times. It's just complete the mundane tasks again and again and again. And not only was this a really, really bad game, it had a really, really bad trophy list to boot as well.
It was stinky.
Okay, I'm going to take you back now to a game that I finished last year, about a year ago, maybe when I was very in the early stages of making my YouTube channel, and that is Resident Evil 6. I did a full trophy list review of this game, full platinum trophy review. I spoke about the platinum, spoke about the DLC. The platinum trophy is pretty easy. You can platinum trophy in about 30 hours. I have to say, I'm not a massive Resident Evil fan, and I'm not saying bashing the earlier games. I've only played Resident Evil 5 and 6. Some would argue that they are some of the worst. Resident Evil 6 is definitely one of the worst games I've ever played, I have to say. People who know objectively what a good game is will know Resident Evil 6 isn't a good game. It's got really spongy combat, it's got a laughable story, it's got really bad characters. In the characters that are like famous, like Chris Redfield and Leon, they don't really do much in it, they don't get much justice in it, and it's got hilarious enemies where all of them just turn into giant dinosaurs essentially, and you just don't really know what's going on until you finish all 4 of the stories, and even then it just feels just terrible. Just terrible, essentially. And on that, the DLC, so the DLC is online. So the DLC involves basically playing, you know, online against people. But the problem with that is it's a dead online server, there's nobody playing online, and there's one trophy in particular. Well, in fact, actually, it is all of the Siege trophy. So the Siege was one of the game modes, which was zombies versus agents. So, you know, you play as one of the zombies. The zombies were terrible to control. They were like really, really slow. It was really hard to get a singular kill. And one of the trophies called Everybody Dies is you have to kill 100 player controlled agents and 100 player controlled creatures. Now that sounds pretty straightforward, but the thing is, when you're the agents, you face zombies and player controlled zombies, and you can't tell who's who. And then when you play as the zombies, you play as zombies versus agents, and it's basically disgustingly hard to get a single kill. So I had to boost it with somebody, and it was just disgusting, I have to say. It really, really wasn't fun. And I think if this game should not have really had this DLC. I mean, it was free when I got Resident Evil 6, but it was disgraceful. Every single part of this multiplayer just felt tacked on, unfinished, and not enjoyable. And even if I'd played it non-boosting, I would not have had a good time with it, because it just wasn't very good, and the controls were terrible. So there you have it. There was 4 games, 4 trophies that really pushed me to the edge. They made me really evaluate certain games. Do I want to go forward? You know, I think we've all been there. We've all had to hit this point where we think, have I hit the ceiling? Have I hit the point where I don't want to keep playing? I don't want to earn the platinum trophy because of the challenge that's posing, or because of the frustration of certain trophies, because a lot of developers don't respect our time, and I think some of the games that I've just spoke about there definitely have a lack of respect of time, but also maybe just a lack of thought into what should really make a great trophy list, because I, for one, really do not like randomly trophies that are based upon random elements, RNG, I just don't enjoy them at all. I think it does hold back and ruin trophy lists in my opinion. And then as well, endless, needless grind, again, is not a way to make a good trophy list, nor is having terrible online trophies. So on that, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below what game has really pushed you to the end. What particular trophy was just too much for you, where you had to sort of say, nah, I'm not playing it, or I'm going to play it, but I'm going to hate this game for it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.